Ah, yes, Doctor Who. Guy, you'll enjoy this little section. I set myself a challenge a few weeks ago to work my way through the entire series of Doctor Who right from the start. There are hundreds of episodes. It's going to take a while, but I'm really looking forward to it. I love Doctor Who. I have loved it from as far back as I can remember. My first memory of it is John Pertwee as the Doctor fighting the Autons and those mannequins bursting through the shop windows and basically killing everybody that they come into contact with. Scared me to death at the time, which is exactly what it was supposed to do. And that was my first memory of it. I've loved it ever since. I do enjoy the new series when they kick-started it again back in 2005. It's all right. It's big budget sci-fi, but given the choice between watching classic Doctor Who and new Who, I will always go for classic Doctor Who. Now the early years, the William Hartnell years, Patrick Troughton, I don't personally remember, so I'm really looking forward to watching these episodes. I bought most of them on DVD many years ago, but never got round to watching them apart from the odd couple of episodes. So I thought it might be an interesting thing to do, to watch it right from the start in order, and see how we go. And I began with this one, An Unearthly Child. Now this was the very first story that was ever made. You got William Hartnell as the Doctor, you got Carol Ann Ford as his granddaughter and travelling companion Susan Foreman, and you've got Jacqueline Hill as Barbara, and William Russell as Ian, who were his first two companions. It's not what you would call fast-paced. I don't know what fans of the new Doctors would make of it. It's a lot slower in pace. It's a lot more story based. I love it. I personally enjoyed it. It wasn't the strongest story to start with, but I do see, or saw by the end of it, how it managed to catch on and become the success. I mean, it's still going now, nearly 60 years on. But the first story, all it is, they are transported back to the Stone Age, and it's all set around a tribe of cavemen, cave dwellers, who are basically trying to make fire. I would imagine it was quite brutal for its day. There's a lot of killings in it, people having their heads smashed in by rocks and stuff like that. It's obviously black and white, but I think these black and white ones have got a real charm to them. And you have to remember, this is 1963, so you're not going to find any flashy special effects, CGI or anything like that. It is all about as basic as it can get. But do you know what? It is really good to watch. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Looking forward to getting into the next one, which I believe is the Daleks' first story. Let me just have a quick look on here. Just bear with me. Yeah, it's all part of this box set, the beginning, which is the first three stories, and that's the next one that I'm going to get into, which I'm going to start very shortly. Looking forward to that one. That's the first time we meet the Daleks. And I thought at the time, if I'm going to be doing this, I need some kind of a reference book to dip into, to basically show me what the background stories of some of the episodes and all the memorabilia you can get. And I found this absolute gem on Amazon. If you're a Doctor Who fan, you've got to have this. It's called The Vault. It's a very thick book. If I can just show you a couple of pages. It goes from, you see all the pictures, and it's a thick volume. You've got all sorts in here. Just look at the size of that. But it's a wonderful book. I've already read a few pages of it in relation to An Unearthly Child. I didn't realise it was actually known as The Firemakers initially. But that's a must-have. If you're a Doctor Who fan, you've got to have a copy of that. You'll find it on Amazon I don't think it's available new, but you'll find quite a few second-hand copies. I picked this one up for about £4, which absolute bargain. Well worth it. It's a beautifully done book. Um, Tons and tons of illustrations. So yeah, well worth it if you're a Who fan. Um, the other thing I spotted, and I missed this the first time it was on. It was actually on BBC Four. Was this? Now this is Doctor Who gold, without a doubt. This is a dramatisation of the creation and the first few years of Doctor Who, how it was made. Um, the people that they've got playing the characters are just perfect, and it takes you right from the initial concept. Sydney Newman, the head of drama at the BBC, was basically looking for a show to fill a gap between Grandstand, which was a sports programme, and Jukebox Jury. They got a 25-minute slot to fill, and he drafted in Verity Lambert, who he used to work with at the ITV, and gave her the job of coming up with this idea. And she came up with, obviously, the idea of a sci-fi time travel drama. It takes you right through the casting, through the difficulties that they had making those first episodes. It is fascinating, and it is beautifully done. The final 30 minutes is very poignant, a little bit sad. I didn't realise that Hartnell had to quit in the end because of illness. And he didn't actually quit, he was fired, but in the nicest possible way. But if you've not seen this and you are a Doctor Who fan, Guy, you've got to get a copy of this. It's absolutely wonderful, mate. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It runs for 90 minutes. There are some extras on here, but I've not watched any of them yet. But I didn't realise that you get this little insert, which it's not very much, but it's something. But as a Doctor Who fan, I really, really enjoyed that, and I would love to see them do a similar thing with the other Doctors, especially Patrick Troughton, John Pertwee. And before you all ask, who's my favourite Doctor, because everybody always asks me that when I start talking about Doctor Who, John Pertwee was the one I initially grew up with, but I did enjoy the Tom Baker adventures. I kind of lost it a bit after that. I have seen them, but given the choice, I would watch John Pertwee or Tom Baker anytime. And I get the feeling I'm going to really enjoy these William Hartnell, Patrick Troughton adventures. I'm looking forward to going hell for leather with those. So, right, what we're going to do next? Hang on.